Hi, everyone. This is Leah Klein, Health and Wholeness Coach. And today, my question for you is what will really fill you up? What will really satisfy you? Our verse is Isaiah 55:2. Why do you spend your money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which does not satisfy? Listen diligently to me and eat what is good, and delight yourself in rich food. I know I've had this experience. I know probably you have at some point or another too, that you're feeling like you're needing something, so you eat maybe a bunch of food, maybe a little bit of food, but and then you realize that you're not satisfied. Even though you filled yourself up, you're not satisfied. At which point, hopefully, you're realizing, even though lots of times we try to throw more food in hope of finding something that will feel like we've been satisfied, when it's better if the light dawns on us in that moment, that, oh, I'm trying to fill myself up with what can't fill me up. This isn't what I'm desiring. This is not what I'm really looking for in this moment. And we don't always think about that. And other than thinking, gee, why am I not feeling satisfied? I mean, that realization may sort of hit us, but whether we jump to the next step of going, oh, I wasn't really hungry. It wasn't about food. I was actually hungry for something else, and I was not filling up with the things that would actually do that. And that's what God is talking about in this verse. This is God speaking through Isaiah, and he's saying, you're trying to fill yourself up. You're spending money on things that won't ultimately fill you up. You're trying to satisfy a desire that I put in you that only I can fill. And that is a profound realization to come to when you get to the point of realizing, okay, I'm not hungry right now. This is not about food. This is an emotional and spiritual need that only God is going to be able to fill. And that when you get to that point where you can actually catch yourself in the act of trying to fill yourself up with things that don't satisfy, you can redirect and do something different. And you may actually lose some weight because you stop eating as much food that you really didn't need and you really weren't hungry for. I'm still a work in progress on all this. I have to remind myself when I'm going, okay, gee, I don't, feel satisfied after I, tried to fill myself up, and go, okay, that wasn't what I needed. I wasn't really hungry. So therefore, putting more food down me in this moment is actually not going to help. If anything, it'll make it worse. So I want to encourage you to spend time with God. It is rich food that will fill you up. And 5 minutes a day quiet time, it just isn't going to cut it. It really just won't be enough to, especially if you find yourself in this situation where you're empty and you need to fill yourself up, and the things you're trying to do, whatever they may be, are not cutting it. They're not doing it. Then this is when I would encourage you, ask God to show you his riches and to fill you up and to really dive into his fullness and really find that satisfaction. The best way I found of doing that is going on a personal retreat. Spend time one-on-one with God in his creation. Get quiet enough to where he can speak to you and you can lower those stress, lower that cortisol level that's triggering, some of that, desire to, fill yourself up and stress eat, and, get out of that, start breathing, disconnect from the electronics, and just connect with God. Doing that will satisfy you in a way that nothing else can. Literally, I have found nothing else that will do it like that can. So I do strongly encourage that. If you happen to be in Arizona and want to come to a shorter guided retreat, we are doing one on the 28th of October. So reach out to me if you're interested in something in person. If you're going to be in the area, this isn't a long one. This is just, like 9 to 2, thereabouts. So this is more designed for local people, where they're not, staying over necessarily. But anyway, reach out to me if you want to know more about that. And the song for us today is Fill My Cup, Lord. And since we were talking about having God fill us up instead of other things, this song came to mind, which of course I hadn't sung probably in 20 years or more, but it has a really good message. If you know it, feel free to sing along. If not, feel free to just listen. Like the woman at the well, I was seeking for things that could not satisfy. And then I heard my Savior speaking, draw from my well that never shall run dry. Fill my cup, Lord, I lift it up, Lord. Come and quench this thirsting of my soul. Bread of heaven, feed me till I want no more. Fill my cup, fill it up and make me whole. There are billions in this world who are seeking for pleasures earthly goods afford, but none can match the wondrous treasure that I find in Jesus Christ my Lord. Fill my cup, Lord, I lift it up, Lord. Come and quench this thirsting of my soul. Bread of heaven, feed me till I want no more. Fill my cup, fill it up and make me whole. And I will see you next week with another verse. See you then.